It's the Craft Beer Playbook, episode 10. We're rocking and rolling here at Bastet Brewing over off of Adamo Drive. Zach here, Brian's here.
We got Tom.
Tom there. We're going with 3 today because there is power in numbers, and especially when you're drinking together. Friends that drink together stay friends. I don't know if that's an actual saying. I don't know if that's an actual
Drink
saying.
together, stay together.
I'm just gonna that's like Shakespeare or something, right? Like somebody had to have said that at some point.
Tamsin is a strong, dusty wind in Egypt. And because it's a hazy IPA, it seemed appropriate.
Love it.
And now, you said Egypt, like Bastet, the whole field, the whole brand, the whole theme, it is based in that culture, right? Can you give us some more background on just how you came up with the name Bastet, and obviously the logo goes along too?
Yeah, absolutely. So there were a couple things behind this. One, we didn't want to just be another pub that you walk into with barrels on the wall. We wanted something unique, something that is a conversation piece. So we had to have something not normal.
Right.
Number 2, Houston and I are huge fans of the history of beer. And most people have no idea how important beer was to the Egyptian culture. Beer was for the young and the old, the rich and the poor in ancient Egypt. We're talking 5,000 years ago, right? In fact, I don't know, some people may have seen recently the article that came out. They just uncovered the largest production brewery ever found in Egypt. That was 3000 BC.
Oh my God.
Let me put it in perspective for you. 22,000 liters of beer were being made on this site. For perspective, that's 193 barrels of beer.
Oh my God.
We're 5 barrel. So beer.
They had to have a lot of guest taps on to get that done, Jesus.
So beer for the Egyptians was a daily part of their life. In fact, a common greeting between Egyptians was beer and bread. You know, beer and bread, fist bump.
Yeah.
So we, being fans of the history of beer, we came across a story about Bastet that's related to beer. I'll give you the short version. So Ra is the pharaoh in Egypt at the time, and he's getting old, and he's starting to feel like people don't respect him anymore. So he sends his warrior goddess Bastet, sometimes called Sekhmet, out to kill everybody. And she goes out, starts killing everybody, and that's actually Houston painted our mural back there. That's Bastet.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you about that.
Out there attacking everybody.
That's awesome.
So the other gods point out to Ra that as soon as everybody's dead, nobody butchers them. It's like, oh shit, I guess that was a bad idea. So he calls her back, but now she's in a bloodlust. She won't stop killing everybody. So he takes 7,000 jugs of beer and pours pomegranate juice in it to stain it red. He pours it out in the fields, and in the story they say it's 2 palm trees high worth of beer.
Wow.
She thinks it's blood. She drinks it, gets drunk, falls asleep, and stops killing everyone. So beer saved the world.
They did everything big back then in ancient Egypt, huh? Brewed a lot of beer, stained a lot of blood-colored beer.
And ironic, not to kind of pivot away, you guys do a lot of great beers here. I think the color of beer is something that grasps somebody's eyes really quickly. We'll talk more about the brand and how you guys came to be here at Bastet. And that's certainly an awesome story, both in history and in entertainment as well. But we saw green, we've seen, you were just mentioning red. And that's just from the color standpoint. Here's to taste-wise. I think what's helped kind of the craft beer community grow is finding all these different flavors to pack into beers that people probably never in a million years would have guessed you can do. And I just want to kind of get your philosophy on how you approach, the beers and the taste and how you decide to, go, we're going to make this type of beer, it's going to taste like this. How do you go about that? What's your philosophy?
Houston and I are pretty similar when it comes to this. It really goes back to both of us being what we like to call flavor fanatics or foodies, whatever you want to call us. We like flavor.
Yeah.
Both of us are pretty well-seasoned cooks. We both cook at home. Throughout our days, if we're having a get-together, one of us is on the grill. So being a cook, you learn how to meld flavors, what flavors work well together, how to build a recipe. Okay? And that's exactly what we're doing with our beers. We're taking flavors that are interesting to us, and we're having fun with them and making hopefully good beer to drink.
Oh, it is good beer. Like I said,
delicious.
We've been here before. Happy to be back today and in this capacity. Certainly, I think Brian and I both have. I wouldn't call us experts, but I would definitely say we've drank enough of the Bastet beers to feel like, yeah, you guys do a good job.
Nobody needs to be an expert to like beer.
Right. Yeah, sure.
So Houston and I met in 1999. We were working at a local law firm downtown. And after working together for a short time, we both discovered that we were into beer. Forward many years later, somewhere around 2010, and now we're talking a year into Cigar City's life, right? We decide we're going to make a homebrew club. So we co-found a homebrew club with 11, 12 other guys, and what we used to do was unique for our homebrew club. We would get everybody together on a single day, and you would bring the beer that you brewed a month previous, and everybody would drink that, and we would brew a batch, or we would brew multiple batches on that day on a brew house on site. So we brewed together and we learned from each other. 4 of those people are now brewing professionally in the Tampa Bay area.
And we're going to talk to Houston very shortly from now. This is the Craft Beer Playbook, episode 10. Happy that everybody's listening. We're out at Bastet. If you want to come check it out, we'll be out here until 3 o'clock. And Tom, I want to ask you, you guys got a dog running around here. You got a pup.
Yeah.
And it's a brew pup. Fair? Okay. Tell me about this dog, which I would argue is as big of an attraction as the beer.
In fact, we poured some concrete in the back. And there are my initials, Houston's initials, and his paw print.
There you go. So he is the co-owner at this point. You made it official.
That's legally binding. I don't know. I'm bad with laws, but I would assume that's legally binding. It's in stone.
Baloo and I go everywhere together. He's the best dog in the world. He's so well behaved, and he's often the first person to greet somebody when they walk in, and everybody seems to warm up to him pretty quick. So he is an attraction.
And ironic, right? Like you said earlier, because Bastet and the Egyptian culture is all about cats, but you happen to be a dog person. So it's a blend of both.
Well, there's a lot of cats around too.
Yeah, a lot of cats everywhere.
They're just not moving at the moment.
Yeah.
There's a
No
lot
live
of
cats, but in our first month of opening, this girl did bring her cat in and sat him on a chair at the bar.
That's a good omen.
And that cat sat there the whole time while she had beer.
That's a good omen. I would have taken that as a very good omen.
It was kind of funny.
Maybe it was the descendant, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Bastet, you know?
Well, I think that's a thing, right? Like all cats are descendants from ancient Egypt. Did I just make
The
that up? I feel like I've heard that.
domesticated cat really started there.
Wow.
See? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. A little bit.
He pays attention in geography class every now and then.
I think I learned that from The Mummy, actually, the movie.
Okay, that explains it a lot more.
That's why I wasn't sure about it. I was like, Tom's about to shut me down. He's going to be like, no, Zach, you're way off.
They have unearthed tombs in Egypt where there are literally thousands of mummified cats.
They're all crazy cat ladies that they all buried together.
Which isn't actually mind-blowing now that we've learned that, like you said, they just found a giant old brewery with all that beer. That's wild. That's wild. What up? Back in it, back at it. That was halftime. No, Tom did not change the way he looks. We have switched him out with the other co-owner here. Huston Lett is blessing us with his presence. Excited to chat with him. He's re-upped on our beers. Craft Beer Playbook, episode 10. Excited to continue to chat with you. A reminder, we'll be out here till 3. But even if you can't make it out by then, right here off of Adamo Drive, Bastet is bumping. They got tons of beer. And, you know, me and Ryan, even after we leave, we always find our way back. So if you don't see us here today, this
we'll be bouncing around a little bit today.
Come find us. Maybe we'll be here next Tuesday, maybe a week from tomorrow. You never know. We do love us some Bastet Brewing. But Houston, we just talked to Tom for quite a bit, man. and we got to kind of see through his eyes how this all came to be.
Absolutely.
And I think what I want to do with you is kind of pivot into more of the general sense. Tampa Bay in general has been blowing up from the craft beer scene, man. You've watched it grow. Now you're a part of it in more ways than one. And just like, what have you seen from when craft beer was still kind of getting its legs under it, especially here in Tampa Bay? Like, we're not the birthplace of craft beer. Well, Egypt is. We know that now. We found out all about that. But here locally, man, Tampa Bay has just become one of the meccas, in my opinion, in the States for a place to get craft beer.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a beer destination now. It's come a long way. In the beginning, there was only a few places you could go to get like real craft beer. Actually, Tom and I go back when we couldn't get craft beer anywhere. It was when World of Beer was the craft beer shack.
That's the original, right? We got the OG World of Beer.
Yeah, OG World of Beer. Also back to when Beverage Castle was the only place you could go get beer. Tom was in college at the time. I don't know where I was, but I know we were living in similar neighborhoods to where the Beverage Castle is. And actually, you date back further, Joey Redden used to work in the drive-thru.
Of the Beverage Castle?
Of the Beverage Castle.
Yeah.
Shit you not. And so Tom and I did our timeline, and we talked to Joey about it. It was around the same time where he worked there. He was running just my introduction was, he touched earlier on the law firm, so we worked at a law firm, and my introduction was, I had Big Burger Pills. I was bartending at a party, and I tried this Pilsner. It was a basic Pilsner, and it was so much more flavorful and so much more, just way different from the macro stuff I was drinking before.
Yeah.
And that kind of opened up my world and got my curiosity going to what other countries were doing. When it came to like good beer, so I used to go to that Beverage Castle. This little, I forget, the little small keg.
Oh yeah,
just put in the fridge, and I would get them from there and just try them. This is way before.
I'm imagining it like in the movies where like somebody has that moment where like their eye, you see the close up on their eye and it just boom, zooms in and your mind opens up. And I feel like you're taking us in your craft beer moment.
I mean, that's what it was, man. It was bugged out, and that unleashed what my old boss, Madison Rhodes, called the sickness.
See, I told you, it's like a movie. Like I see it,
man. So I became a consumer and just buying anything that wasn't there that I could put my hands on. And most European stuff, like I said, just craft. I think at that time the extent of craft was Guinness, which was great. We still drank Guinness, but
we thought that was a craft beer.
Yeah,
like that was, no, you're right. Though it's so crazy.
I may or may not have been of age to drink that. So I used to drink that, and then I tried Rogue Deck. That was like my first. That was my first craft.
We crushed some Rogue Deck guys. Man.
So what are you drinking now?
I'm drinking a Highlight, man. Shout out to Cigar City.
Hey, okay, all right.
Drinking a Highlight, right? Drinking a Highlight.
So I switched over, so I was drinking the, I already forgot what it's called. I'm drinking Orange now, but I was drinking the IPA before.
I'm drinking.
I was drinking Campson.
Yeah.
Campson, yep. So now I've switched over to the Orange. So tell us the story of this one.
So kettle sours are a lot. We like to play around with those here. It's when you experiment, you have a lot of fun. Tom talks about different ingredients we like to use. In kettle sours, I feel like you got a lot of room to play. You can play on sweetness added with that acidity, with that tartness. My approach to Orange was basically to get something reminiscent of Tang.
And it does. For those of you who haven't tried it, I got a glass of Tang right now.
Yeah, man, I used to drink it back in the day when I was a kid. Mix it with water. you got to drink instead of just water all the time.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. The flavors that people come up with in beer these days, and that's just something that like I don't think I'll ever get used to as a consumer. Like I just,
well, that's good. That keeps things fresh. It keeps things interesting. It keeps. I mean, it's what craft is all about, right?
Yeah.
Craft and flavors.
Variety, baby.
Yeah.
So my question is, obviously, you and Tom have been doing this for a very long time. Do a lot of experimenting with different things. For those people that are like, watching or listening that are, sitting at home thinking, man, like, I want to start brewing my own beer at home. Like, what piece of advice would you give them, knowing what you know now, the years of experience you developed? What advice would you give someone who's starting out, who's really trying to maybe open up a brewery of their own one day? Like, how do they get started?
With the expectation that they're not going to get hit with a global pandemic. Because, like, obviously, God bless you guys, I feel you. Like, I really do. Like, I feel for y'all.
Right, but more from the brewing standpoint, though, right? Like, how do you get started? Like, how do you start to perfect your craft?
We had a buddy in college that tried to do the home brewing thing. Yeah. He's not doing it no more. Like, it was
like the Walmart.
He did not cap the bottles right.
Look,
so, like,
man,
it's something like look, man, you're good at it, but it's an art form, bro. So there's people that are trying to do this at home, and it's coming out skunky, it's coming out flat, and somebody has to try those beers to see what they taste like. So it's not easy, but there has to be some kind of advice.
Okay,
that you
so
can get.
I guess my advice would be if you're passionate about it, do it. One, start it, just do it.
Respect.
Most people in this industry, if you talk to that are owners or head brewers or just brewers or even assistant brewers, they start out with some kind of kit whatsoever, like a Mr. Beer kit or an extract kit or whatever. Or some people go right into all range. I wasn't as fortunate enough to do that, and I think it was great because I think every brewer should start out doing the extract first. You can make some phenomenal beers. Just all of the effort is taken out for you. All the syrups and sugars are done. They also should bottle beer before they keg beer because that will open up a whole world of patience that you never knew you had.
That's how we experienced with that buddy. He bottled some, and we were like,
bottling is
it's an art, man.
It's an art.
It's an art. I'm telling you.
That also like you have to be detail oriented, obviously.
Yeah.
If you're really good, it's a lot of science, a lot of numbers, a lot of math, but also have fun with it. Don't be. I mean, so how I got to this whole thing was my wife got me a Mr. Beer kit. It was a craft beer kit, and I did it for just to see how it goes. Right?
Did she have any idea?
She didn't. So she made a mistake of giving me the kit and a book learning about how to brew beer. So automatically off rip, I was using the syrups and also adding extra sugar to get higher ABV. Because at the time I was getting some
over 10% off the bat.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So I learned a lot of what not to do in the beginning. Also is I did it to save money on beer, honestly, because I was spending so much money on beer.
Especially high ABV, bro, because you're paying like triple what you would for. Yeah. Let me ask you this: do you have more fun brewing or drinking the beer that you brew?
Honestly, brewing, man. So there's two parts to that: brewing and giving people my beer. Tom touched earlier about getting beer in front of people's faces and letting them just getting their input, the objective feedback. That's everything for us. And it's also great doing all these years and somebody saying, "Oh man, this is a great beer." Like you appreciated the tank.
Yeah,
you're like, "Oh, it tastes like tank."
Yeah.
Those that's the reason why I got into doing it. I got into doing it because of that. They're just a reaction on people and just seeing the happiness it gives me to brew this beer.
It's like your baby, your child, right? Like,
yeah, man.
I respect that. Yeah. So we didn't get into sports too much with Tom, but you're a sports fan. And I know this because the first time me and Brian rolled through, we were chatting with you. This is before the Super Bowl. And now we've got the Lombardi Trophy in town, Stanley Cup's in town. Man, we're just running out of trophy space here in Tampa. Like, it's crazy.
That's good, man. It's a long time coming, man. We haven't had it since 2007, man.
So you're excited. So sports has been good. You've been enjoying it. What? Let me ask you this sports-wise. What sticks out to you? Any moment or play? Or, like, how did you enjoy the Super Bowl? Let's start there. Like, what you guys watched it, obviously. Like,
okay, so when Tom came here, it was Tampa Bay. Like, Tampa Bay. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, Tampa Bay.
Corny, cheesy.
Sorry, guys.
But now we're all saying it.
So,
I did the same thing, though. I was like,
I think you got the shirt, don't you?
I do. Well, yeah. They sent me the shirt. I got to.
They sent me the shirt.
They did send it to me. No, man, it's been cool, man. And we got y'all are closest to the Amalie, right? It's the quickest trip.
Well, late starters technically, but
See, this is like, so I grew up in Brandon River.
Okay.
So I used to come down this way to get to Amalie.
Okay.
We parked down at the aquarium, and like, location's important. Like this, obviously, when I'm growing up, I'm not 21 yet, but like now, I'm looking to move back in Brandon. This is the type of spot where I'm definitely trying to stop on the way in.
Absolutely. I appreciate you doing that.
Get a lot of lightning traffic, a lot of people coming in. It's a good pregame spot.
Yes. Yeah, we have. But, like you said, open up the global pandemic, it's touch and go, man.
Fans are back in the stands tonight for the first time.
Yes.
That should help.
Yes.
Start getting more fans in,
Yes.
more people traveling,
Yeah,
get people
man.
out.
I mean, the Super Bowl really surprised me, to be honest with you, because, we were, honestly, Tom and I are here 7 days a week, and actually now it's 6. So we finally are giving ourselves a day off a week,
Good.
which is much deserved.
You're human, bro.
For the last couple of years, man. I mean, going right out of construction into, but like I said, so now we're starting to see regulars. We're starting to see things pick up a little bit. The pandemic has been a little tough, but
You said you were surprised about the Super Bowl. In what way? Like, just as far as like the amount of like traffic? Because we had talked to you before. We thought it was going to be crazy that week.
it was like balls to the wall crazy, but it was picked up. We saw a significant increase just from the start of the week. We're getting KC fans in here like as early as Monday, and that was
awesome.
pretty dope, man. Pretty dope. What's up, man? That's my son.
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
What's up? Zach, nice to meet you, man.
Now, are you born and raised in Tampa?
Born and raised, man. Born and raised. Born in Tampa General Hospital. Lived in West Tampa, kind of outskirts of South Tampa.
Nice.
Moved at an early age, just on the other side of Ybor, just not far from here, like maybe 3 minutes on the other side of Ybor, Jackson Heights. I'm a local boy, man.
So what is your most fond Tampa-based sports memory of your entire life so far?
Oh,
We could go Tom Brady
You
hoisted the
gotta
trophy.
be out there, right? That's a lot of
gotta
stuff,
be out
man.
there.
It's a lot of stuff. I mean,
Which Super Bowl did you enjoy more?
I enjoyed. I
Because they were both blowouts.
I ain't gonna front, man. I enjoyed the 07 Super Bowl better because I was younger. I was like, think of it. You know what I mean? That's a long time ago, man.
Easier to follow, I think, when you're younger.
It
You
is.
can sit there and watch every game. When you get older, you get busy. I mean, you open
No,
your
you
breweries
get older,
now.
you get older. Like, I ain't no spring chicken no more, bro. So after we left for the Super Bowl, I'm like, man, I need to go to bed.
It's hard to stay up for those
It
late
was like
night
an
games,
hour.
man.
Yeah, it was like
It
an hour
is.
past my bedtime, man. So I was like tired.
I hear you.
know,
I slept for like 2 days, man.
Yeah, crazy. It was insane, man. Woo. And then like Ybor, that's
Yeah, I saw the picture.
there was like 2 shootouts in
Yeah.
Ybor. Like,
Well, that's common. That's a normal.
Yeah, but
When I saw the pictures, it was thick.
it
It was
was.
thick, dude. Like, it is.
So, out of all the beer that you guys have brewed here, what are some of your favorites? Which ones stand out to you over the years since 2014, when the inception of this idea was? What stands out to you over
For
time?
us, it's the gas station wine. We pointed
That
that
was a very popular beer. And ironically, that was my least favorite sour.
What?
And that was one of the most popular ones we had.
Bro, that beer was
I
amazing.
think a lot of it has to do with the name, though. People are like, "Give me gas station wine," and they're already expecting it to be good. Right?
I thought it was tasty.
Well, I loved it.
It's funny though. Either people got it or they didn't. Some people,
That's
like,
the clientele.
Oh, I love gas station wine. So she's thinking like, cheap Chardonnay or some shit. I'm like, no, go cheaper. I'm thinking like Boone's Farm, Alizé,
Boone's Farm.
MD
Oh,
2020. So that was the
yeah.
whole premise of that beer. And don't get me wrong, like, I don't know everything about beer, and I never will. No one ever will.
Impossible.
It's just, and that's the cool thing. That's the gift and the curse about it. You'll never learn, but it also keeps that fire lit to make you want to learn. What's that? I don't mind the devil's playground. It's true. You need to learn more than enough to be dangerous. You got to keep learning and keep pushing the culture forward.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. So that advice would be to get a job at a professional brewery. Don't just become a home brewer and go right into opening the brewery, because conical tanks behave a lot different than carboys and buckets. There's a lot of stuff that in a brewery that are dangerous. People can get killed, people can get blind, people can get injured really badly not knowing what they're doing. So that's number one piece of advice to work at a professional brewery.
It's interesting. So, like, I believe it.
Do it
It's
long
big
enough, you'll have
equipment. I mean, you're
memory,
talking
right?
about a lot of stuff. I mean,
It was a joke. Not just brewing, just a construction.
setting it up. Like, yeah.
Well, the
getting it.
construction process. So he and I would literally take bets on who would bleed first throughout the construction, and every day I'd come home like, my wife would be like, "Did you bleed first, or is it just you that got injured today? And did Tom get injured too?" So some days both of us get injured. Construction was a stressful time.
It's hard work. One of the things I like about craft beer too, like clearly the term beer snob comes up a lot in craft beer, but that's a select few, and you can even be a beer snob and still be a part of the community, like welcoming. It is one of the most welcoming communities I've ever seen.
And that's the way it should be. We don't agree with that snobbery, man. Like, the minute you act like stuff don't stink, and that's a problem for us. We don't treat people that way, and we don't want to be treated that way. So I better not catch anyone's heard when he's behaving that way, because we don't. That's just not the atmosphere around us.
That's not why you go to a brewery. You go to a brewery because it's more laid back than a bar.
Yeah.
You're not fighting with random people that are just
exactly. And don't scoff at somebody when they come in and say, "Hey, what do you got that's like Bud Light?" Don't do that, because you know how many people that drink. We were all Bud Light drinkers or macro drinkers before we fell in love with craft.
That's where everyone's love of beer started, right?
Yeah,
That's all there was.
Right? Nobody in high school is like cracking open a nice sour to start the weekend.
Yeah.
Man. That is not how it works.
So don't treat people like that, man.
You know, it's interesting. So I worked at World of Beer for a few years. I did bartending.
Oh, yeah.
And I was the same way. Like, people would come in, because my parents and a lot of our parents didn't ever drink craft beer. Like, it wasn't really there. So, like, I try not to be snobby in the way towards people that are not sure about it, because I'm like, my dad was like that. My dad was like, only drink this kind of beer all the time.
Bro.
And you break him into it, and it's like, that's everybody. That's at some point.
I wholeheartedly agree. So I grew up in a house of malt liquor drinkers. I mean, you know, it's a fact. Like, I drank shitty malt liquor for the majority of my adolescent years.
I feel you.
So I can't look down on you. And Tom and I kind of look at that as a challenge. You know, hey, I'm gonna find a beer, because I hear people say I don't drink beer. No, you just haven't found a beer you don't that you like. It's a challenge for us, and so that's another rewarding thing. When you put something in their face, like, oh my gosh, this don't even taste like beer. And then 2 pints later, they're like, oh, I guess I like craft beer. I guess you do. That's why you never say never.
You gotta help people. Beer helps people be more open-minded. I truly feel that way.
And I agree with that too, because I think we've talked about this a lot on our past episodes of the pod too. You have to find that starting point. Everyone's got like a different starting point. You know, like my wife, she used to drink framboise. You know, she used to drink like the land.
It's a good starting point for a lot of ladies.
It's a great starting
point.
But then she slowly, one day she tried a pale ale. Wasn't too high in alcohol, percentage, but got started to get the hoppy taste, and then now she can drink hoppy ales with me. So it's like, so for you specifically, where was kind of your starting point? Like, where was the turning point where you're like, okay, it's like, forget this Bud Light.
It was the movie version of we had a whole spiel.
Well, just to add on what you said, so. Because it is a valid question. So I started with Pilsners and lagers from Germany,
right?
And then I went into the Hefes and the Dunkers and the more flavorful stuff.
So lighter stuff first.
Lighter
right?
stuff first.
That's
I kind of ease myself, and that's how you have to do it. So back to my wife, like when we first met, we were dating. She said, "I don't drink beer," and I was like, "Well, I'll do something about that." But like you said, ease them into it. You don't take somebody that never had sushi and go straight for raw.
The craziest beer.
Yeah, let me get these niggery pieces. Let me get all the. No, you don't do that. You start out with something cooked. Start with a Mexican roll, like a Tampa roll, something light that's cooked and still flavorful, and you ease them into it. You don't freaking throw them straight to a double IPA off rip. Like, that's just dumb. Now they're gonna make that connotation like craft beer sucks. It all tastes like double IPAs. You don't want to do that. So that's kind of how you have to ease into it. You just dip your toe in there a little bit. Yeah. That's why we have the lineups that we have. I'm adamant about this. I'm gonna help with the surge to take hard waters back.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about that, because you guys have hard water, so it's not just beer. It's like you guys have decided to give variety, and I would even argue that like that's newer in the craft beer world. Like, not just whether it's hard water, seltzers, like anything like that's extra like that.
Sure.
That's something we're starting to see more, and I think that's the craft beer community being more open-minded to the customer.
Well, and it's also, I think it's more trying to take it back. So we go back years ago, MIA was doing it before Macro was doing it. Macro got wind and said, oh, this is cool, so we're going to do this now. And I think Macro also jumped on the low-calorie train. Yeah. And they made it what I call, to me,
no comment.
It tastes like carbonated water with essence, like what do you call it? Essential oils in it. Like, it's very light and but it's not robust, man. And so MIA was coming out with like cucumber, lime, hard water, all these crazy flavors.
That's down in Miami, right? You said MIA, right?
Yeah.
I've had it.
So they kind of led the charge. a lot of craft brewers stopped doing it because macro got a hold of it and like made it not so cool anymore. I mean, arguably not so cool.
I hear you.
I mean, I know I'll probably shoot myself in the foot because a lot of our target demographic drinks that stuff, but at the same time, try that and try ours.
Respect.
I guarantee you probably like ours better. And that's not even some cocky stuff. That's just it's more flavors.
It's just facts only.
Yeah.
Try it, it's better.
Love it. Well, I think we're ready to get back to drinking some more beer. Huston Lett, Tom Ross in the background, Zach and Brian, episode 10. We appreciate everybody for listening. Again, we're out at Bastet. We'll be out here for a little bit as my fiance makes fun of my hands in the background, thinking I can't see her. It's been a good time. We're excited to do more and chat more with the guys from Bastet. That's going to be off air, though. So if you guys want to be a part of that, come on up here, check us out. Even if, like I said, you can't make it out today, we appreciate having you. We did this with Tom. Any last thing you want, like, people, beer drinkers to know about Bastet before we let you guys out?
Just come in and give us a shot. If you haven't been, we have wide lineup for tap, and there's something for everyone. Just come give us a try. We're 1951 East Adamo Suite B. We're right down the street from Coppertail on the IKEA side. Yeah, just come check us out.
I'm with it. All right, we'll see you guys for episode 11 next Thursday. It's been a good time. Continue to chat with you soon. Don't forget to follow the Craft Beer Playbook at the Craft Beer Playbook on Instagram and Facebook at Beer Playbook on Twitter. We'll talk to everybody real soon.
Cheers.